guys. Hi guys, I'm gonna be studying for my editing and let's go. Okay, let's read now. The number of employees in each industry in Seattle was recorded and rounded to the nearest 10,000. These results are displayed in the dot plot. According to the dot plot, what is the median number of employees in thousands? No, it's not 10. Okay, then let me see. It's not 10. It's not 10. So what is it then? I don't know. The number of what is the median? Is it 45? Is it 40 plus 50? No, not 90. Then what is it then? I only got one of her right now. Okay, so 100 minus 30. So the answer is 70. 100 minus 30, 70. What? Correct, I got it right. What is the median value of the, what is the median? SAT. Okay, so what is the median value of the data set? The number of telephone lines in each country in Central America and the Caribbean is shown in a dot plot. The number of telephone lines in each country has been rounded to the nearest 250,000. According to the dot plot, what is the median number of the telephone line in thousands? In thousands. The number of lines in Central America and the Caribbean is shown in the dot plot. The number of telephone lines in each country has been rounded to the nearest 250. Rounded to the nearest 250. According to the dot plot, what is the median number in thousands? And 17 and 500? 7. No. Is it 250? Is it 2,000? No. 170, 1,000, 17, 50, 1750 minus 11750. 1500. Let me see. The median value of the data is when since there are 28 points on the dot line already organized. What? Since there are 28 dot plot, since there are 28 data points on the dot line plot, since there are 28 data points on the dot plot, data points on the dot plot already organized from least to greatest, the median value will occur between 14 and 15. Yeah. Oh, now I understand it. $378 minus 415. 378 minus 415, and then it's gonna be 37. No, 486. Can you hear me? I think it's 37 divided by maybe 324 plus 324 plus, so I think it's 324 plus 46, 486. You asshole, I put 415. Oh. 2 out of 4. 9, 4, 5, 9. The box and the whisker plot. The box and the whisker plot show the average outdoor temperature of a North American city at noon in degrees Fahrenheit for each month of the year. What is the range of temperature? 30 minus 90. 60. I don't know. It had to have been. Alright, let me try the next one. 87, 90, 89, 92, 93. Okay. What is the range of the list of numbers? 10, 11, 12, 13. 89 minus 92. 89, 89, 87, 87 plus 98 plus 89 plus 92 plus 99. How do we know? A linguistics library contains servers achieved of language samples. The table gives the number of distinct languages referred in each arch. What is the range? Huh? What is the range of numbers of distance referenced? What is the number of what is the range of numbers in distant language referred? You read it again. A linguistic library contains several archives of language samples. The table is given of the distance of language referred in each archive. What is the range of numbers of distances? 111 minus 17. 111 90 more. 111 plus 17. 111 plus 17. 128. What is it? 128. No. 90 more. 47. Maybe 47. Nah. 128 divided by 64. Or what if it is 111 plus 3 plus 136 plus 26 plus 53 plus 258 plus 17. Hello. Alright, so which one is it now? So maybe this is what it is. Ending is 111. Ending is 111. I think 111 plus 3 plus 36 plus 26 plus 53 plus 258 plus 17. You can hit 252 in the answer. Ah, dang it, I did it wrong again. Dang it. $98.6 minus $98.3. 98 plus 99.0. 179.3. 179.3. 197.3. 197.3. How did I know 197? Let me try again. 89.3. 99.0 plus 98.3. 98, 99.0 minus 98. I'll never get this right. 98.7. Mm. 80 minus 28. And then there's 29, 38, more than 30, 52. So 80. 28 minus 80. 80 plus. Nobody in the chat. One plus 3. 1, 2, 3 more minus 1 plus 3 plus 36 plus 26 plus 23 plus 130 plus 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 53 plus 258 plus 258 plus 21 20.8. Oh yeah. Mm. Oh, oh. Mm. Okay, 16, 16, 17, 17. Yeah, but I'm 16. Oh. Okay, Rip Van Winkle. Wait. I hate the really long graphs, but Rip Van Winkle has fallen asleep for a very long time. The graph describes the length of I in millimeters after T weeks of sleep. After how many weeks will Von Winkle's beard Ringgold ran 35 meters long? After how many weeks will Rip's and Winkle's beard red green 35 millimeters long? The dot plot shows the number of hours Sheila worked on her last 10 work days. How many of those days did she on how many of those days did she how many of those days did Selena work for 6 hours? 2, 3, 4. The graph shows the number of movies Japanese filmmaker Takashi Miike directed from 1999 to 2004. How many movies did he direct in 2001? 6. He directed 6 movies. The histogram shows the size distribution in square meters of houses on Elm Street. According to the histogram, how many houses on Elm Street are between 50 and 1,000 Elm Street are between 50 and 100 square meters in size? How many? One, one, two, three, four. The answer is 4. The graph shows the relationship between the kinetic energy of a basketball in baseball in joules and the speed of the baseball in meters per second. Based on the approximate, based on the graph approximately, what is the kind, what is the kinetic energy in joules of a traveling baseball traveling at the speed of 35 meters per hour? Wait, what? When the goblin I'm so tired. Enano, enano. Okay, a scatter plot describing the data. The scatter plot shows the vegetation of various United States U.S. cities plotted against the city average September temperature, where L is the latitude of the city in degrees and T is the city's average September temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. A line that approximates a line that approximates the data is shown on the graph. Which of the following statement is best interpreted for the slope of the line? Which of the following statement is best interpreted for the slope of the line? Which of the following statement is best interpreted in the best interpretation for the slope of the line best fit the line best fit in the situation the line the best fit in the situation? The scatter plot showing the latitude of various United States U.S. cities plotted against the city average, where I is the latitude city in degrees, T is the average September temperature in Fahrenheit. A line that approximates the data is shown on the graph. Which of the following statement is the best interpretation for the slope of the line best fit for this situation? The average September temperature for the U.S. city decreased by 2 Fahrenheit for each 3 degrees. The average September temperature for the U.S. city increased 2 Fahrenheit for 3 degrees in latitude. The average September temperature for the U.S. cities increased by 3 Fahrenheit for each 2 degrees increase in latitude. The average September temperature for the U.S. cities increases by 3 Fahrenheit for each 2 degrees. Two. No. My favorite. Carolina's Caroline's Caroline's math test includes a survey question asking how many hours students spent studying for the test. The scatter plot and trend line shows the relationship between how many hours students spent studying and their score on the test. Assuming the line assuming the line correctly shows the trend in data, what does it mean that the lines y intercept that the line y intercept the average score on the test was 37. Yeesh. On average, spending an extra 1 hour studying for the test led to a 37-point increase. No. The average score was 37 points. On average, spending an extra 1 hour studying for the test led to a 37-point increase in score. The model indicates that the students in class that studied the least will receive 37 points approximately. The model indicates that students who didn't study at all will have the no. Hey, mano. And a parent judge was asked. And my head is really hurts. My name is one. Mm, 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 mm. Only one minute now. A panel of judges who a panel of judges a panel of judges were asked to judge the quality of different kinds of potato chips. The scatter plot and trend and trend line. The scatter plot and trend line plot the a panel of judges were asked to judge the quality of different kinds of potato chips. The scatter plot and the trend line plot the relationship between their rating and the price of chips. Assuming the line correctly models the trend in the data, what does this line slope what does this line slope of 5 mean? The average cost of the chips the judges sampled was $5. The average rating was 5. On average, each dollar increase in cost was associated with a 5-point increase in rating. On average, each $5 increase in cost was with a 1-point increase in rating. Oh. The scatter plot and trend line show the average income in dollars in several major American cities plotted against the rent for a two-bedroom apartment in those cities. Assuming the line correctly models the trend in data, what does it's too bright. That's much better for me. The scatter plot and trend line show the average income in dollars in several major American cities plotted against the rent for a two-bedroom apartment in those cities. Assuming the line correctly models the trend in the trend in the data, what does this line's main slope of 0.031 mean? Mm. 0.031 mean. The average house for rent is 0.031 million square feet. The average rent was $0.031 thousand. The average On average, each dollar increased in on average each $1 increase in average income was associated with a 0.031 increase in average rent. On average, each 0.031 increase in average income was associated with a 1 point increase in average rent. No, yes, I should have mentioned pig, but I picked the wrong one. My bad. Marita, a ranger in Kruger National Park in South Africa, collected data about the elephant population in the park. The compared She compared the foot length of the elephants and their shoulder height, both in centimeters, and created a scatter plot and trend line. Assume Assume the line correctly models the trend in data. What does the What does this line slope of 5.89 mean? 5.89 mean. The average shoulder height was 89 centimeters. The average shoulder height was 5.89 centimeters. The average foot length was 5.89 centimeters. On average, each 1 centimeter increase in foot length was associated with a 5.89 centimeter increase in height. On average, each 1 centimeter increase in shoulder was associated with a 5.89 centimeter increase in length. Not? Hmm. Abigail gathered data from Abigail gathered data on two Abigail gathered data on different schools' winning percents and the average yearly salary of their head coaches in millions of dollars. In the data, $1 million in the years 2000 and 2000 to 2011. She created a scatter plot and a trend line. Assuming the line correctly modeled the trend in data, what does this mean? This lane slope of 8.42 mean? The average winning percent was 8.42%. The average salary was 8.42 million dollars. On average, each $1 million increase in salary was associated with an 8.42 point. On average, each $1 million increase in salary was associated with an 8.42 point increase in winning percent. On average, each 1 point increase in winning percent was associated with an $8.42 million increase in salary. Mm. No, wait a minute, let me. It's not average. It's not winning percent or salary. Nah. Knew it. Only the bottom one increases. Oh. The graph. Mm-mm. The graph shows information on the average number of Americans who viewed the nightly news from 19 1980 to 2010. A line of a lane of best fit is shown on the scatter plot, where T represents years since 1980 and V represents the average number of nightly news viewers in millions for that year. According to the model, which of the following is the best interpretation of the slope of the graph of information on average Americans who view nightly news. Renee went around the laboratory where she worked and measured her coworker's ear circumference in millimeters. Then she matched her results with each coworker's age and created a scatter plot trend line. Assuming the line models the trend in data, what does the line slope of 0.48 mean? Yay. No. The scatter plot and trend line describes the relationship between the average rent for one-bedroom apartment in New York and the number of years after 2000. Assuming the lane plot, the line, the amount, assuming the line correctly shows the trend in the data, what does it mean that the y-intercept is 800? Mm. The scatter plot plots the relationship between hours spent on video games and hours spent on homework last week for students in Jerusalem. Joel created the following scatter plot and trend line to show the relationship to show this relationship. Assuming the line correctly shows the trend in data, what does it mean that the y-intercept is 23? Joel spent approximately 23 hours on homework. Joel spent approximately 23 hours on video games. This model indicates students who spent 23 hours on video games would average 0 hours spent on homework. The model indicates that students who spent 0 hours on video games would average approximately 23 hours spent on homework. My head hurts really badly. My head hurts. You're not You're not my head. The scatter plot and trend line plot. The scatter plot and trend line plot the relationship between how early students turn in an exam measured by minutes left in the exam and the exam score. Assuming the line in an exam measured by minutes left in the exam and their exam scores. Assuming the line correctly shows the trend in data, what does it mean that the y-intercept is 87? The average score on an exam is probably 87. No. On average, spending 1 minute on an exam corresponds to an 87 increase. You might indicate that students who spent 5 minutes taking an exam the graph shows information on the average Alright. The graph shows information on average Americans who viewed the nightly news from 1980 to 2010. A line that best fits is shown on the scatter plot where T represents years since 1980 and V represents the average number of nightly viewers in millions for that year. According to the model, which of the following is the best interpretation of the slope? Okay, from 1980 to 2010, the number of Americans who viewed the nightly news decreased by 1 million viewers. From 1980 to 2010, the number of Americans who viewed the nightly news decreased 0 to 2%. From 1980 to 2010, the number of Americans who viewed the nightly news decreased. My head is busy. I don't feel good. Liz's math test included a survey question asking how many students spent studying on tests. Hang on. Eat more food, mushrooms. Liz's math test included a survey question asking how many students spent studying for the test. The scatter plot and trend plot and line plot on the relationship between how many students spent studying on their score on the test. Assuming the line is incorrect, what does the line delayed slope of 15 mean? On average, students who didn't study at all scored scores of about 15 on tests. If one student studied for 1 hour more than another student, the student who studied more exactly 50 points on score. On average, studying an extra hour was associated with 50-point improvement on the test. On average, studying for 15 extra hours was associated with 1 point. Hmm. I'm gonna gather data from I'm gonna gather data on different schools' winning percents and yearly and average yearly salaries of their head coaches in $1 million in the years 2000 to 2011. She then created a scatter plot and trend line associated. Assuming the line correctly models the trend in data, what does this line 8 point mean? Hmm. Adriana gathered data on different schools' winning percents and the average yearly salary of their head coaches in millions of dollars in the year 2011. She then created a trend plot, a scatter plot, and a trend line. Assuming the line correctly shows the trend in data, what does it mean that the y-intercept is 39? Okay, I mean, Rayon went around the laboratory where she worked and measured her coworker's ear circumference in meters. With Then she matched her result with each coworker age and created a scatter plot trend line. Assuming the line correctly modeled the trend in data, what does this line slope of 0.48 mean? Linear and exponential growth foundation. Oh, I know this one. I just learned this. Ashana is Ashana is having a big going out of business sale, and he wants to advertise his sale. He started by making a large number of advertising flyers for his sale, and gives 5 of his friends many flyers. He asks each of them to give flyers to 2 of their friends the next day, and tells each of their friends to give flyers to their friends the day after, and so on. Let us be the number of people who will be giving flyers on 2 days. Which of the following best explains the relationship between T and F? The relationship is linear because the value of F increases as V. F in the exponential is the relationship is exponential because F increases by the factor of 5 each time T is increased by 1. The relationship is linear because F increases by a factor of 5 each time T increases by 1. The relationship is exponential because F increases by a factor of 2 each time T increases by 1. Yes. Decreasing linear. The number of guests attending Ellis's party increased by approximately 10% each year over the past 5 years. Which of the following describes the relationship between time and the number of so it's not exponential decay or if it's linear, either decreasing in exponential decay and exponential growth or increasing linear. Frank catches a cold. The next day he goes to school and Frank catches a cold. The next day he goes to school and three of his classmates catch a cold. Each day thereafter the number of people catching a cold triples. Let C be the number of people who catch a cold on day T. Which of the following best explains the relationship between T and C? The relationship is exponential because C increases by 6 as T increases from T equals 1 to T equals 2. The relationship is linear because C increased by 3 each time T increased by 1. The relationship is exponential because C increases by a factor of 3 each time T increases by 1. So it's either not exponential. Yes. In which of the following scenarios can be in which of the following scenarios can be the decline of Little-Root town's population be described as linear? Each year, 2.5% of the current population leaves Little-Root town. Each year, an increasing number of people leave Little-Root town. Each year, a decreasing number of people in Little-Root town. Yes. Mean. Kamana is in 4 school clubs. The bar graph shows the number of members for each of the clubs Kamana is in. How many members does the film club have? 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 members. Nick. 20. A newborn calf weighs 40 kilograms. Each week its weight increases by 5%. Let W be the weight in kilograms the calf of the calf after T weeks, which of the following best explains the relationship between T and W? Between T and W, the relationship is linear because W increases by a factor of 5% each time T increases by 1. The relationship is exponential because W increases by a factor of 1.05 each time T increases by 1. The relationship is exponential because W increases by a factor of 5 each time T increases by 1. The relationship is linear because W increases by 2 as No, this is wrong. Nah. What? Candy? Ah, ah, ah. Ah. The scatter plot and trend line showing the relationship between the percent. The scatter line plot and the trend line show the relationship between the percent of American adults who smoke and years since 1945. Assuming the line plot shows the trend in data, what does it mean? Mean that the line's y-intercept is 41. Oh! A census was taken in 11 African countries. For each country, the amount the amount of the population had access to water from the water supply industry was compacted and recorded to the nearest 5%. This amount was expressed as a percent of the total population and plotted according to the dot plot. What is the range of these percents? Thomas took his body temperature every day for the past 7 days. The results are shown in the graph. What was Thomas's body temperature on day 4? His body temperature on day 4 was 1. Ninety-eight, 98.1, 98.2, 98.3, 98.4. 1, 2. How? One, two, three. 98.1, 98.2, 98.3. Let me see the quiz again. I'm not feeling it today. is the mean value of the data set. The Cyclops population in a city has been increased by approximately 40,000 per year over the last 5 years. Which of the following the bar graph showed the number of rainy days in 4 different towns last year. How many rainy days did the storm have last year? 100. The bar graph shows the price of cell phone data plans offered by Sky Telecom. Based on the graph, what is the price for 5 gigabytes of data usage? $0, $20, $30, $40. Mm, 20. It's $20. Oh my god, it's no rainy. Alright, let's do the next lesson. Ling organized her book collection according to table. How many non-fiction books are in her collection? Thirty, 24, 25. The first episode of the hitting cook after the first episode of the hit cooking show Game of Thrones aired, Addie kept track of the number of friends who watched the show. Shared memes about the show on social media. Both or neither about the social media, both or neither. The results are shown in the table. How many Addie's friends both watched the show and shared their meme? Oh. Frank asked both New Year's and non-New Year. Frank asked both New Yorkers and non-New Yorkers the question: Is New York style pizza your favorite? Responses are summarized in the table. According to the table, how many New Yorkers responded? How many New Yorkers responded? 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. 4, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100. At the end of the winter semester, Mr. Yukon asked the entire senior class whether they would play any spring sports. The results are shown in the table. Of the seniors who did not play any fall sports, how many would play spring sports? The table. The seniors who did not play in any fall sports, how many played spring sports? Mm. Jenna told her coworkers on whether they own a TV subscription to a streaming service, a TV subscription to a streaming service, both or neither. The results are shown in the table. How many of Jenna's coworkers do not own a TV? 90, 95, 96, 97, 98. Mm. 102 plus 24. Nano alert. Now the math part, the reading part of the SAT now. Mm. 41. I'll be back sometime. I need to do a break again. It's my 39 followers on Cake. 39. Why not get good followers on Cake from the Lizzie? And reading the answers and questions and talking about which one I think is right using the just chatting category. Why do you like it? but I am just study. Um, mm, mm, mm. You're weird. You're so. Mm, mm, mm. Capture this people every day in life and money kept the IRA. I'm gonna start studying tomorrow. I'm everything second. Then grind tomorrow. Grind. Man. Let me end the question. I am. Let me read the essay choice first, and I'll read the question. Hell no. I am the rock. I am the rock. Black mighty falls. The terrible breaker rises like walls. With curly lips, gleaming teeth, they plung tear at my bone breath. I am the sea, the earth I swear. Graining to me is potter clay. Under the tongue of my careless wave, it rises in tremble and sinks in caves. I am the sea, I hold the land as one holds an apple in his hand. Hold it fast with the sleepless eyes, watching the comet sink and rise. I am the rock, Perturbed sea. I am set to encounter thee, angry and loud, or gentle and still. I am set here to limit thy power. I will. The Rock and the Sea is an 1893 poem by Charlotte Gibbon. In the poem, a rock is portrayed as an intent. In the poem, a rock is portrayed as intending to confront and restrain the sea. Mighty Montana Rainer. Is it A? Is it A, B, C, or D? Yeah, it's like it's D. I told you. Let's read. Which quote from which quotation from a work by a historian would best most effectively evidence for will be the most effective evidence for the student to include in support of his claims. Kelly's grandmother, who would repair clothes when he was a child, frequently added mismatched buttons to the clothes to draw attention away from flaws in the garments. Kelly was designed to be a designer from a young age. He learned how to sew clothes from his aunt Bertha, and his love of drawing was developed by his mother. Although some of the assortments of buttons appear to be mismatched pieces scattered randomly throughout Kelly's dresses, his most famous designs featured careful crafted patterns of matching buttons. Many of Kelly's contemporaries were inspired by his designs to incorporate buttons as well as zippers, snaps, and snaps as decorative items in their work. American American fashion designer Patrick Kelly was known for his love of colorful buttons. Many of his significant dresses featured bold assortments of buttons throughout the garments. In a paper, a fashion design student claims that Kelly's use of buttons as distortion was inspired by his childhood observation of styles and actions of the women in his family. Mhm. No. What? Oh, my bad. I'm gonna read the next one. Which quotation from the Land of Enchantment most effectively illustrates the claim? The social, and the peculiar charm of the long journey is significantly enhanced by the leisure stop made from refreshments. One experience a certain sense of detachment from ordinary day and daylight duties that exhilarating. The real journey begins, of course, at Chicago as these training leaves in the evening. The travelers far he peers forth in the section of his best. The opportunity and advantages already offered and consistently increased are greater than would be at first considered possible. Considered possible. The Land The Land of Enchantment is a 1906 travel book by Lynn Whiting. In the book, which describes the experiment of traveling through the southwest United States by train, Wesseling reflects on the escape from everyday life that such everyday life that such a journey provides. The soul of a charming long journey is enhanced the stock made from one certain detachment from ordinary daylight duties. Traveler Phase 4. Alright, bye guys. Tomorrow I'm gonna do more reading. So I'm gonna do a little bit more reading and math. And then I'm gonna continue this tomorrow. So bye everybody.